Wow. Thanks. Hopefully all this settles and doesn't get in my hair. There's a lot. That's so fun. November 9th marked the 20th anniversary of the day my dad died. And on November 9th, we buried his best friend, who stepped in without hesitation to fill all of those roles my dad couldn't fill. He walked me down the aisle at my wedding. He was a guide and mentor as I started my business, and he was an ever-present figure I knew I could always count on. And while there are so many special words this man shared with me, the ones that meant the most were those words that brought my dad back to me. Whether it was a happy and fun moment or a heated political debate, he never hesitated to make sure my dad was still involved in our conversation. Sometimes we would laugh. Often I would cry. But he always made sure that my dad was back there with us. No matter how uncomfortable it might have been for him or for me, he made sure that he said those kind words to remember that my dad was a part of us. Sometimes hearing those words can be a little difficult, though, for both the person who's saying it, unsure of how the person's going to react, unsure of if the words that they're sending are really going to be received in the intention. And sometimes it's hard for the person receiving those words, but not because they don't want to hear them, but because there's still love there. Because there's still love. And that connection that's made when those words are shared is what is so very special. Now, what if we move away from just words of kindness that are shared and think about acts of kindness? Have you ever had a friend who's had life kind of hit them hard? Maybe they've been recently diagnosed with cancer or had an accident or a loved one's passed away. And the next time you've seen them, you've reached your hand out and said, "Please, call me if I can do anything." Because you would be happy to, when you're at the store, grab a loaf of bread or a gallon of milk, or if they need a ride to and from an appointment, it's no problem. You'd really, really like to help them. And as you make that offer and say, "Please, I really, really do want to help," they respond with a kind head nod and a, "Oh, thanks, but I'll be fine. I'll be sure to call you if anything comes up." You don't usually get that phone call. Now, maybe you've actually been on the receiving end of that and had a time when a friend has reached their hand out to you and said, "Call me if I can do anything." And they mean it just as sincerely as you did when you made that offer to someone else. They really, really want to help. But you've got this. You're fine. I don't need any help. Thank you very much for the kind words. And you don't usually call. I had an experience a couple of years ago where on a Friday night, I needed to go to the store and get food for my kids for dinner. And as I was walking into the grocery, a car didn't see me and hit me. And I ended up with a broken wrist and a broken ankle. But don't worry, I was fine. I did not need any help. Not to mention the fact that I had 2 kids and a husband who worked out of town a few days a week, And we'd recently purchased a new home and were remodeling it and didn't have a functioning kitchen. But I was fine. I did not need any help. Oh, and I guess I should also mention this whole, I own this website service that's all about organizing people to help when life hits hard. All of those times when friends and loved ones want to help, but they're not sure what to do, can all be organized. That's kind of my business, but I didn't need to use it. I did not need any help. Don't worry. And that's the same thing that I hear from everyone when I'm working on my business. Well, thanks, that's a great idea, but my friend doesn't need any help right now. They'll be fine. They're not going to need anything. The World Health Organization states that people who are diagnosed with something and are discharged to a strong social support network have better outcomes. But why don't we take that up? Why don't we do that? Why is it so hard for us to accept the help? Because it doesn't feel good? Because we're strong enough? Because we don't need the help. We don't want to burden someone else. But we know that when you actually make the yes, I can use help, the connection happens. The healing starts. And that's when we're able to accept that kindness internally and really make a difference. So tonight, right now, I want you to think of one person in your life who's had something hit them hard. Maybe they've recently lost a loved one. Maybe they were recently diagnosed with something. Maybe life is just rough for them right now. Think of that person, and when you leave here, send them a text. Send them an email. Do something crazy. Pick up the phone and call them. Tell them that you're thinking about them. Share a story about their loved one. Make that connection. And then I want to challenge you with one other thing. And that is the next time that life hits you hard and you have someone who reaches out their hand to offer their act of kindness, say yes. The connection is worth it. Have a great night.